Hey there, you right?
Yeah.
Today's video we're gonna just be speaking about the effects of drugs, your life story, and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah.
Do I have consent for viewing this publicly? Yep. What's your name?
Robert.
Robert?
Yep.
How old are you, Robert?
I'm 48 years old.
48 years old?
Yeah. I'm currently homeless.
You're currently homeless?
Yeah. I've been taking drugs now for 30 years.
30
Since I
years?
was around about the age of 15, I started taking cannabis, ecstasy, acid, all them sort of things. I spent a few years in jail. I came out of jail and I went back in again. And that's where I got my heroin habit, was in prison, Brixton Prison. That was at the age of about 19, 20. I always said I wouldn't do that sort of thing. Like, I used to look down on people for doing that, but now I understand myself where they were at that time, because I know what it does to you. So I don't look down on people like that no more, but I used to a long time ago. I used to think like it's a bad thing, like keep away from it and all that, until curiosity got the better of me one day. So basically
What was it that made you curious?
watching other people doing it, it was sort of like we would all have the same amount of money. They would spend their money on that. I would watch them smoke that, and then 5 minutes later say to me, "Oh, borrow me some money." So I used to say, "Well, hang on a minute. You've just done all your money. I've still got my money." But the same thing happened again one day, and it made me. Somebody said to me, "Do you want a pipe?" And I said, "Yeah, all right, go on." And just thinking that I could have the one pipe and just leave it at that. It didn't work out that way. I had the one pipe, and that was it. From there,
It's the first pipe, isn't it, that usually hooks you in?
Yeah, the first pipe. I mean, when I was in prison years ago, I'd done a rehabilitation of addicted prisoners trust, which is the first 5 steps of an NA program. And I actually got clean for 3 months. I put on loads of weight. I was working security when I came out. Things were good, life was good, but you start associating with the same circle of people, the same thing happens again.
How would you recommend someone to stay out of that route? What would have been the things that you would have changed?
The people that I was associating with.
So the people that are doing these drugs, abusing and going down the wrong path, you would try avoid hanging about with them.
Yeah, because that was one of the things that we was told during that program thing, was that you can't come out and associate with them people anymore, because they're still doing the same thing. And if you start associating with them, you're gonna just get dragged back into it. So basically go find other people, like lead the normal life sort of thing. But it was hard because you can't avoid bumping into people as well. So
have you got children?
Nah.
Have you got someone you're seeing?
Nah, I split up from my partner 7 years ago, and since then I haven't.
Was she using as well?
She got into it through watching us lot doing it in the house, and then she woke up one day and just said, "I ain't doing it no more," and just stopped.
And she stopped being with you,
she stopped. Yeah, she just basically, she said, like, "I wanted to leave because I was always doing drugs no matter I get up, and it was like I have to go and get drugs. I'll go into bed at night, it's like I have to have drugs to sleep." It was like drugs were controlling my life 24/7. And you know, there was a guy, I knew him when he was 16. He kept asking me, "Oh, what do you get out of that?" And I said to him, "Don't ever ask me to get it for you. Don't ever ask me to give it to you, because you will end up like me." And actually that same guy, he is now just as bad as me now, because he tried it, and even he said, "I should have listened to you, took your advice." He said, "because now I'm so deep in it that I can't get out of it." So
Have you got any scars from abusing?
But from actually using you.
From using drugs or doing things?
I got a scar there. Got a scar there.
Do you want to come a bit closer to the camera?
There's a scar there.
Where was this scar from?
That was from injecting a rock.
Injecting?
Yeah, injecting crack cocaine. And then, you might not see them now, they're very faint, but all up my leg there is old scars. And the same on that leg. At one stage in my life, I couldn't walk because I was injecting so much back then that I couldn't actually walk. I've done silly things like I've used lemon to actually cook up the gear, and that almost made me go blind. I've had spats of paranoia, bad paranoia, and I got into a lot of trouble with the police when I was doing it. I mean, I haven't been in trouble now for 10 years.
What sort of things were you doing while abusing drugs that got you in trouble with the police?
I was doing everything. I was even robbing my own chemist where I was getting my methadone from. So. And
the methadone is supposed to help you ease off.
It's supposed to help you, but there's a downside to the methadone, and that is that you end up with withdrawal symptoms from that as well, which is worse than coming off the heroin. So my recommendation to anyone like that would be to go for Subutex, which is buprenorphine, or there's another one called Espinol. The Espinol's better. Once you take the Espinol, it's a total blocker. You can't use on it anyway, so that's I think that one's the better of them rather than the methadone. I mean, with the methadone, it seeps into your bones. You start crying in the night. Then you start getting the shakes, the sweats. Really, really bad withdrawal symptoms. I mean, I was on 120 mils a day. And by the time I used to make it from the pharmacy just up the road to my house around the corner, I'd actually sit down and fall asleep because the dosage was so high, it just used to knock me out. So, at the minute, I'm not on a script or nothing. I've got that being sorted this Friday and that, so. But
what has your family got to say about you?
They don't comment. They don't say that because they've said it. My mum said to me when I was just before I was 30. She said to me, "By the time you're 30, you'll be dead." And I walked in being flash. I said, "Look, Mum, I'm 30. I'm still here." She said, "Give it another 10 years and you'll be dead." And I walked in when I was 40 and said, "Look, I'm still here." So, but she said everyone expected me to be dead long ago.
Do you reckon using crack and heroin, is it a slow death or is it a fast death?
It's a slow death.
It's a slow, painful.
Yeah, very, very, very
It's
slow.
away at you.
Yeah, very. I mean, I've actually died. I actually died. 2 people dragged me outside the house and left me there, but one of them was good enough to call an ambulance for me, and I came to in the hospital, and the doctor had a needle that big. He was going to give me an injection in the heart, and I got such a fright, I never injected ever again after that. So that was what, I'm going back now 20 years.
It's more harmful to inject than it is to smoke it.
Yeah. That's why I've never done it again.
And do you know the reasons why?
Yeah, there's many reasons. I mean, I at one time, I caught hepatitis C. The first time I ever used a needle, I caught it off of a dirty filter, yeah? Having a treatment for that wasn't so bad, but the original treatment, you had to have injections, and I didn't want that. I didn't want injections or nothing, but yeah, injecting is a lot more dangerous. You can't be sure the amount you're putting in, whether your body's going to be able to tolerate that. Then you don't know what it's cut with. It could be cut with rat poison, drain cleaner. There could be anything inside the thing. I've heard recently that the heroin's being mixed with fentanyl.
So this drug fentanyl is mainly populated around America.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
one hit can kill you.
Yeah, but apparently there's been something like 3,000 deaths throughout Scotland, England and Wales in the last year due to contaminated heroin.
Have you had fentanyl before?
No. But then you wouldn't
But you wouldn't know.
No, exactly. You wouldn't know because it mixed with all the stuff, so you don't know.
What would you advise young people?
Not to go near it. No, don't even get involved in it. If
But
anyone offers
young
you,
people these days,
it's very easy to get influenced.
they're easily manipulated because
Yeah.
society,
Yeah.
the people around them.
Yeah. Just don't bow to pressure. That's the only thing.
Some
that I
young
can say.
people, they don't think they will ever use drugs.
Yeah.
But there's money by selling drugs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
what tends to happen is they're selling, and because they're around it,
they start.
they
dabbling.
sometimes have it in their mouth to
Yeah.
conceal it away
Yeah.
from police.
And even that there means they could be getting like traces of it in their system, even touching it.
And then they get slowly eased into the feeling,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't know. And over time, one
Yeah.
day they just decide, you
yeah,
know what?
it can happen. Yeah, I know a couple of boys. They was working for the county lions gangs, and they was bringing the drugs in. And these kids were only like 16, but they were dealing. So my thing is, if, like you said there, if you're around it and you're thingy, it's only going to be a matter of time before you get drawn into it. Whether you're carrying it, selling it, or actually using it, there's still the risk that you're going to be getting traces of it inside your body. I mean, all I can say is that go find something better to do. Play football, go play basketball.
What skills have you got as a person?
Me?
You know have you got any skills that you're good at?
I'm a qualified bricklayer and painter and decorator. I can do industrial cleaning. I'm good with my hands. I've always been good with my hands.
So some people, when we look at people that abuse, we tend to think that they're not capable of anything good.
No, that's wrong.
Such as
No.
you're a qualified bricklayer.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got so many skills.
Yeah.
What's preventing you from going down the right path?
At the minute, my housing situation and all that, because I've got to be housed in another borough. So it's kind of awkward at the minute because everything I've got is down this way, whereas I have to move out of the area. But it all come hand in hand. The housing, the drugs. When I got housed, I actually got on a script and I stopped using for a little while. And then where I got thrown out of the accommodation by Town Hamlets, because they said that my health grounds weren't enough to house me. Since then, I've basically been here, there and everywhere, and I've still been using more than what I was actually using when I had my housing and a script. So
How much money do you spend on using?
depends, like
Minimum a day?
minimum a day is like £50.
50?
Yeah, not in one go though. Like it'd be like you might get £15 here, £15.
Minimum wage is roughly £100 a day.
there. Yeah,
How do you earn half of minimum wage?
I beg.
You beg money?
Yeah, I beg. I sit at the train station and beg. I don't steal. I gave that up a long time ago. Where I got like my health problems and that, chest and all that. If I got chased, I couldn't run anyway. So I kind of like getting on a bit now. I'm 48. I kind of feel like 58. So
How much food do you eat throughout the day?
I eat well. I eat very well. That's the thing. I do eat, but I never put on any weight because the crack just strips it off you. So I used to be 12 stone, and I came out of prison, and 6 weeks later I was 8 stone again. In 6 weeks I'd lost 4 stone.
Why was you in prison?
I went to jail then. I come out. It was I got recalled on my license. It was for burglary, I think it was.
Burglary?
Yeah, I think it was.
And
for
was the burglary to fend for your habit?
Yeah. Back
So
then.
while you were in jail, would you say from being withdrawn from abusing, it helped you? Or did you have access to drugs while you were in jail?
Oh, there's still access to drugs in prison, if not more than outside. Right?
Serious?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The main commodity in there at the moment is spice.
Yeah, spice is a different subject
Yeah,
that we
and
should
they're
be
talking
speaking
like
about.
£400 for a bit of tobacco. So, but back then, yeah, it used to be heroin and crack cocaine, but I haven't been to prison in 10 years now, so I don't really know what the whole thing is there. But
Have you got any goals?
yeah, sort my housing out and go back to work. I mean, I was offered a job with Amazon a couple of months ago, and I turned it down.
Because when you have goals, you can work towards it.
Yeah.
Step by step, you achieve something and you treat yourself.
Yeah.
When you treat yourself, you decide that your life is going well and you prevent bad things from happening.
Yeah.
And when you treat yourself to new clothes for work,
Yeah.
you might save that money instead of spending it on drugs.
Yeah.
So I reckon
Yeah.
if you have some personal goals, maybe you move forward in life.
Yeah, I'm already working on them at the moment. Like I've got an appointment on Friday to see my counsellor, and hopefully I'll see the doctor and get my prescription. That's the start one there. I've got a housing application to put into Greenwich, so that should hopefully get my housing sorted. Financially, I'm not clever at the minute financially, but I am gonna put in another thing to do with personal independent payments and that. But I mean, the drug side of things, all I can say to young people is like they used to say back in the day, just say no. I know it's hard, and you're gonna get people that are gonna twist your arm, or they're gonna try and get into you, say, oh look, or start saying, oh look, you're a pussy because you won't do it. Don't even think about none of that. It's you at the end of the day.
What are some of the tools that you use to consume? Have you got anything on you that you can show?
Yeah.
So, because if we show the young people, we could prevent them from, or not prevent, we could show them. If you come close to the camera here.
That there's a pipe.
A bit more down.
That there's a pipe.
More up, please.
Yeah.
There we go. And how would you use it?
You'd smoke it like that. Just like that. You put your thing on there, you light it so it melts a bit, and then
you smoke it.
Yeah. And then you got to be careful you don't end up with burns and stuff like that from it being so hot and all that.
Show us this burn, please.
Look, that burn there, right there. That happened about 20 minutes ago. This thing got so hot that it ended up burning all my finger.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all I can say to the kids is like, don't get involved in it. Try to stay away from it. I know it's hard, but like you said, with society now, it's hard saying no to people, and you are going to get people that might try to bully you. And if that happens, then I'd say go see your parents, go see your teacher, go speak to somebody, let them know. Don't just sit there and suffer in silence. And if someone's trying to coerce them into selling drugs, or even taking them, to let someone know straight away. Because look, I mean, 30 years, I wasted 30 years of my life doing that. So, and I have regrets every day. I wake up every day and think to myself, I could do better with my life. I know so many talented people, and the thing is, they all smoke. So, if they weren't smokers, I wonder where our lives would have been now. So, I don't know.
You've been a great help. This will help young people.
Yeah.
When they see your story and they see how you feel and what's caused you to come down this route, they will consider it.
Yeah.
They will take the advice upon it and make sure they make the right decision.
Yeah. It's, I mean, that's all I can say to them. Make the right decision. Don't make the mistakes that I made, because it's not something you could just do once and leave it at that. This thing is doubly addictive. Once you've done it, there's a saying, one's too many and 1,000's never enough. That first pipe is the one that got me, and 1,000 pipes later, it still ain't enough. I keep going and going and going. I wake up every day and my first thought is, I've got to go and get something. I shouldn't have to be like that. I should have, a long time ago, I sorted myself out and stopped being like that. And then I got dragged back into it again. And I have regrets every day about that.
We'll call it a wrap on that one. Thank you.
No worries.
Bye.